When we picture World War II, we often imagine the roar of engines, the crack of rifle fire, or the thunder of artillery in the distance. But for the millions of soldiers scattered across frozen forests, flooded trenches, mosquito-ridden jungles, and wind-blasted mountains, there was another enemy they fought every single night. Cold, damp, exposure, exhaustion. And in that constant battle against the elements, one piece of gear quietly became a legendary tool of survival. Not a weapon, not armor, but something far more humble. The sleeping cloth. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't high. It didn't have zippers, baffles, insulation ratings, or brand labels. In fact, by modern standards, it looked like little more than a treated sheet of canvas or waxed fabric. And yet, soldiers swore by it. Some even refused to give it up when newer sleeping bags were introduced, because this simple square of cloth kept men alive in conditions that would send most modern campers running for a hotel. A soldier's shelter, when there was no shelter during World War II. Armies moved through climates so different they seemed like separate worlds. The icy forests of Eastern Europe, the endless mud of Italy, the blistering deserts of North Africa, and the wet, suffocating jungles of Burma and the Pacific. No single sleeping bag could handle all of it. So instead, armies turned to multi-purpose sleeping sheets, rugged, flexible, and incredibly durable. The British had their ground sheet cape. The Americans relied on the rain cape, shelter half, and wool blankets. The Germans issued the iconic waxed canvas Zeltbahn, a piece of gear as famous as the soldiers who carried it. These cloths weren't luxuries. They were lifelines. Ground barrier, rain shield, wrap-around sleeping cover, emergency stretcher, makeshift roof, poncho, improvised bit. One item, dozens of uses. In war, simplicity wasn't just convenient, it was survival. Why this simple WWII cloth outperformed many modern bags. Today's outdoor gear is all about sealed insulation, ultralight fabrics, and airtight warmth. But with that airtight warmth comes a hidden enemy: moisture. Once a modern sleeping bag gets damped from rain, sweat, condensation, its insulation collapses. Heat, banisses, and in freezing weather, that can be deadly. The World War II cloth didn't fight moisture. It managed Italiano. The treated canvas acted like a breathable shield, shedding rain while letting vapor escape. Inside, soldiers layered wool, one of nature's greatest insulators, even when wet. They weren't trapped inside a cocoon. They adjusted their warmth using layers, airflow, and technique. If it rained, the cloth became an outer shell. If it froze, they wrapped tighter and added more wool. If it was humid, they slept on top of it to stay dry. It was a system built on modularity, not marketing. Veterans later said they stayed warmer, drier, and more adaptable in this simple setup than in the early post-war sleeping bags that replaced it. Sometimes, simpler really is superior. How you can use this forgotten system today if you spend time outdoors camping, prepping, bushcraft, or off-grid living. This old method still works beautifully today. Start with a tough outer cloth, waxed canvas, oilskin, or treated cotton. Lay it on the ground first. This becomes your moisture shield. Add a wool blanket, poncho liner, or merino layer inside. This is your insulation. Then fold the outer cloth over yourself, a rugged, weatherproof burrito of warmth. In colder climates, add dry leaves, grass, or even pine boughs underneath to boost insulation from the frozen ground. This gives you 3 priceless advantages: adaptability, durability, low maintenance. Canvas won't rip ice. Wool stays warm, even when wet. And when you pack up, you don't have to worry about fragile zippers, synthetic insulation, or moisture damage. It just works just like it did 80 years ago. A piece of gear that carried more than weight. There's a kind of quiet wisdom woven into the sleeping cloth. The kind that comes from generations of humans surviving outdoors long before modern gear existed. It wasn't technology that kept soldiers alive. It was understanding, moisture control, breathability, layering, versatility. The cloth represented the simplest idea in survival. Work with nature, not against it. Under open skies, on frozen ground, through rain and mud, soldiers wrapped themselves in those treated sheets, not for comfort, but for survival, and it worked. Why this matters today? For history lovers, the sleeping cloth isn't just equipment. It's a reminder of human resilience, how ordinary materials saved extraordinary lives. For survivalists, it's proof that the best systems aren't always the newest. They're the ones tested by time, hardship, and necessity. So next time you head into the wild, try it. Pack a canvas bed, pair it with wool. Put it against rain, frost, or damp ground. You'll feel exactly what soldiers felt decades ago. A simple, reliable warmth that modern gear often struggles to deliver. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forgotten wartime ingenuity, make sure to subscribe to In the Beginning, because the greatest lessons of history aren't locked behind glass in museums. They're waiting to be used again.